the people who were afraid of the forces of nature, who were afraid of darkness and who were praying for the rise of the sun and worshipping Ushas, and wondering at the movement of the sun and the moon and the stars. And then the whole theory of the invasion of Aryans on India, in which Dravidians were thrown out from the north and sent to the south, where Dasyus were identified with Tamilians or Dravidians, Vritra and Vala and Panis, or the Vedic allusions were all as it were Dravidians. Sri Aurobindo said all that fell absolutely like a screen falling at one stroke. It is that experience of him that brought him to the real study of the Veda. I took you to this long story of Sri Aurobindo because it is very important to have this background that Sri Aurobindo's interpretation of the Veda is not an intellectual interpretation of the Veda. It is a revelation to a rishi of the experiences of the rishis in the method of the rishi. As Vamadeva says, Ninyani Vachansi, the secret words, Kavayeni Vachane, it is given to the poet. Poet means, according to the Veda, poet is a seer, is a rishi. And these words, which are secret words, Sri Aurobindo himself says the Veda declares that the words of the Veda are secret. That is to say, do not read the Vedic words as they are. There are secret words. In another essay Sri Aurobindo has written, the language of the Veda is algebraic. Just as in algebra, you have to understand the symbols, X, Y, Z, whatever it is, you have to understand what it means. Similarly, the Veda contains a number of words which are secret words. And these secret words were deliberately designed by the Vedic seers. The Vedic seers, according to Sri Aurobindo, were masters of knowledge. The question as to how masters of knowledge could come about in that ancient time is a very interesting question for historians. Because according to historians, the knowledge grows little by little, and primitive people must be much less advanced than what we are, because we are more advanced. This whole story of the development of religion, not only of India but of the whole world, is according to the Western thinking, and many disciples of the West in India, they believe that religion starts from fear. It's the starting point of all beliefs in religion. Human beings are afraid and they want to get protection from the objects of fear. And the whole world is fearful. To the primitive man, everything is fearful, frightening. So the primitive man was a frightened man. And therefore, he was seeking some kind of solace, some kind of protection. And when you are afraid, you immediately seek help, psychologically. And when you get some help, you think that some help has come from outside. And you deify the object that gives you help or seems to be giving you help. This is, according to them, the starting point of religion. the theories of animism, of spiritism, fetishism, totemism, theories of tribal religion, theories of national religion, story of universal religion, all gradual development, starting from fear of man. Now, according to that theory, therefore, Veda, if it is a religious book, if it is a book in which prayers are being offered, then the objects to whom prayers are offered must be objects which were worshipped by these primitive people to get some kind of solace, some kind of help. In other words, the objects which seem to be giving you help may not be real at all. It's simply a belief. But such flimsy objects, having flimsy reality, became deified. And therefore, this whole theory of the Vedic religion, as understood in the West, has behind it this theory that man begins religious beliefs starting with fear. And gradually, you begin to develop more and more refined ideas. Even though ultimately you are never sure whether the object of religion is really real or not. Even as late as William James, who wrote a great book called Varieties of Religious Experience. This is the exposition he has made. He has described a number of religious experiences in his book, starting from the presence of the divine, or of God, or of Christ. Because largely he has taken the Christian experiences and experiences of conversion, experiences of saintliness, experiences of mysticism. He has even taken from Raj Yoga some of the experiences described by Vivekananda. But having done all that, he says, I take a pragmatic view of religion. Whether the object of religion exists or not cannot be determined. There may not be any god or gods or anything of the kind. But I favor religion because the belief cures the human mind. If you believe in God, your mind remains healthy. So, because of health reasons, he says you can allow religion to flourish. So, most of the people in the West who are critics of religion, if they allow religion to flourish, it is only on the grounds of healthy-mindedness. It is something in which people should believe because it gives you health. Children always require mothers. They turn to the mothers. Humanity is infantile. We are all small children, afraid of so many things. We therefore return to our mother or some figure of Godhead, father, mother, of supreme reality you may believe in. And that is the whole explanation of religion. Now that theory fitted very well with the experiences of the Veda. Now it is very important that when you read the Veda, much of it is incomprehensible. The real text of the Veda. Of course, there are many, many verses which are very clear. But a large number of hymns, a large number of terms, words, they are extremely difficult to interpret. There is also a theory in India that Vedas are only words. The words have effectivity. There are no meanings of these words, and don't try to find the meaning at all. The Westerners do not think that the words have no meaning. they have tried to penetrate. And I must say that we must give a great credit to many scholars of the West who have tried to study the Veda. Rightly or wrongly, they have interpreted the Vedas. Even the great Max Muller, for example, he translated. But after doing that, he wrote a letter to his wife saying, I have now finished my work. When people will read what the Veda contains, they will see the futility of it, the primitiveness of it, and they will see the greatness of Christianity. This is Max Muller writing to his wife. It's a secret communication between him and his wife, but now of course available. But this is what he ultimately arrived at. That Veda is a very primitive document, having hardly any meaning in it at all. Something very incoherent. And full of allusions to things which are incomprehensible. You take the whole lot of the Western scholars who have translated the Vedas and interpreted them. They have also used what is called philological method to find a great connection between Sanskrit